Oi, Pastor Valcir, boa noite. Está me escutando? Olá, senhor Edgardo. Buenas noches, ¿me escucha?
Of today, let's offer about. So now, I would like to invite Pastor Valsir Zancan to, to give the opening prayer. Please join me in prayer. our beloved heavenly parents, true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, we would like to thank from the deep of our heart for this April 30, 2021, for another class of the HTM School. Father, we are living now in this golden age that you have been waiting for thousands of years and long awaited for all of those living on spiritual world and on earth. And all of them are eager to cooperate with with your parents and with your providence. And we pray that through today's class you can guide us and in order to fulfill our responsibilities and also to become filial sons and daughters of heavenly parent and true parents, and may each one of us may become filial children to heavenly parents, and also become chomo families, be, becoming this angular stone for the establishment and the substantialization of the good and true parents ideal in this world. Allow that through all this learning them that we are having centered on our Reverend David Kim, may we qualify ourselves more and more in order to fulfill our responsibilities in front of you. We thank for your company and as and prefer presence in my name, Pastor versus Khan, a blessed family, Aju. Thank you very much, Pastor Volsi, for the prayer. So so today we'll have our class. We'll have four presentations, four reports, testimonies, and after that we will have a Q&A session. So so while each presenter do the presentation, if you have any question, you can write it down, or you can hold it in in order to make it later after finishing the four presentations. Or you can also write it write it down here in the chat. If we have a great number of questions this evening, probably will not be able to do all of them, to do all of them, but we will do the best that we can. And for the sake of the translators, we also ask for all the presenters to for all the presenters and also those who will make questions in order to talk more slowly, so the translators can understand properly and then convey the original message. So the first presentation that we will have are from the pastors of the Rio de Janeiro state, Pastor Francisco Marquez and Pastor Nivia. Then we'll have the testimony of Pastor Celia from Jardine. Then Pastor Edgardo Hernandez from Chile, and then finally Mrs. Hilda Montaño from Bolivia. So to begin our presentations, we would like to invite Pastor Pastor Marquez and Pastor Nivia in order to begin the presentations. Let's receive them with a round of applause. Good evening. Good evening.
Ouvindo bem?
Can you hear? Is the image showing up properly? Okay, it's good. Okay, so good evening once again. Thank you for the opportunity. We deeply thank for being able to share this experience, and I thank Heavenly Parents and our beloved true parents, and also Reverend David Kim, also President Koichi, and also our brother Ron Nilsson, that has been doing a great work. So we are the pastors of the Rio de Janeiro state. I am Marquez, and then my wife, Pastor Nivia. We became a Chombo couple. We are from the blessing, the 30,000 couple blessing in 1992. We have one son from the first generation and three sons that are second generation. And today, we would like to talk a little bit about our experience on how we came to be Chombo families. So basically, we 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 try to understand deeply the focus of the providence, believing in the power of heavenly parents and true parents, seeking to always keep centralization. And once we put God's power within our lives, all our actions, the power of true parents, we absolutely we will achieve the victory that we aim for. Second, we always had had a had a couple, the husband and wife. We always seek to work together. When we when we were members, missionaries in Mato Grosso do Sul, so all our actions, all our activities, always centered in our major central figure, President Koichi. He always said that it is important that a couple always attend together. And third point, attending all the liberation and all the ancestor liberation and blessing ceremonies. So since it began, we have been attending to to all these workshops. The fourth is to uniting with brothers, then with positive thinking and challenging barriers and ourselves. So many times we have our own difficult situations and also help our, our brothers to break their barriers and together with them and go together with them to give the HTM blessing, the horizontal blessing. So these are the five main topics that we will be talking about in, and showing how we overcame these hardships. So the second point, always husband and wife working together. So so every time in all activities, all the events and workshops, we always try to be together, me and my wife, receiving guests, preparing the home group, youth gatherings, doing one-on-one, going out to testify, helping UPF activities, Women's Federation. Always we try to be together, husband and wife, always together, one giving energy and power to the other. And we know that it is not easy, and and we sometimes put the weight only in one of the spouses. But when the couple attend the sermon, the activities, then at least it will help in them in the mindset. That is, the couple will understand together and will follow together the development of the providence. That's why it is important for the couple to be together. And with this in mind, we have been traveling also to other states and fulfilling our missions and doing all the activities as a couple together until we achieve the blessing of becoming a Chombo family. So regarding the third point, attending all the ancestor liberation and blessing ceremonies. So from the beginning, we we have been attending, even sometimes going through hardships, financial hardships, and even sometimes on distance, even with our occupations and without having people to whom we delegate our children, we always have been attending these liberation workshops. And with this we started our activities of liberation and blessing of our ancestors. Here I would like to let my wife share a little bit. of our experiences. My wife, she has a lot more faith and is way more spiritually open than me. And she has been taking a, a great part of the front line with these activities. And I will let her speak from a while about this part. So good evening, everyone. It is very good to be sharing here with you. So, as my husband told, so there are 3 points that are very important in order for us to be able to achieve the goals of our activities, and that helped us to become Chombo families. So really, when we see three three core words: faith, love, and absolute love, faith, and obedience. We centering on this, we had the opportunity to be together with our parents there in the Jardin project, where also he gave us the public mission, and he always was talking about these 3 words: absolute love, faith, and obedience. So when we began So when we began the liberation and blessing of our ancestors, surely we all had the same hardships, because especially regarding the economic part, basically no one of us had the conditions to attend and to achieve it. But with this word, absolute faith, we kept going despite the hardships, but always that there was the the guidance from for us to attend. We always attended, even without knowing how to attend. We did it. So and and every time the money suddenly came up from some source, and then they were able to attend all the workshops of liberation and blessing of the ancestors, and also workshops here with the blessed wives as well. And 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 she was and in one occasion she was really surprised that she saw that the workshop fee was 1,000 reais, but it was actually $1,000, and she was really surprised. And then she questioned for a while, but right after she thought, oh, if God gave me this orientation, and I am able to understand, that means that I have the ability, the capacity to achieve it. So we managed to do that, and continue attending all the workshops, being being selling things that we had at home, fundraising, or any other way. We were able to keep attending these workshops. And one interesting fact that happened was that was that in the previous last workshops that we have been attending for the past 20 years, especially in these more recent times that there was a great part lacking. We tried to sell my mother's house that she that she made that she gave as inheritance for us, her her children. And another observation is that we always try to bring our siblings and our own family together with the church, and with this we always call the whole family to work together. So in these last times, we had we had my mother's house to sell and then use it for the liberation and blessing of the ancestors. And then she made an agreement with her sisters in order to sell it, in order to finish. And most of them agreed to sell the house, and they kept offering, but no one would buy it, because difficult to sell a house here in Brazil. But suddenly, by doing when we were praying, in the end, the people that bought the house was the sister. Well, was her sister that was the most negative of all. And we feel that through our prayers and through the guidance of our ancestors, she, she bought the house, and she herself put the money in in her bank account, and then they were able to finish the blessing of the ancestors. So really, through experiences like this, we can see that the spirit world is really moving forward, and we really need to hold to them, to hold God's hand. And every time that a workshop, a liberation workshop, even being difficult, we go and we attend it, even within the difficult economic situations. We were able to overcome, and then finally we develop our own superation skills. In the end, we didn't become more poor because of that, but instead we developed and had more and more conditions through everything we had. And this all centered on those three words: absolute faith, love, and obedience. Thank you very much. So now going to the fourth point, uniting with brothers in faith, that with positive thinking and challenging barriers and ourselves. So at that moment, in the moments of conflict and hardships, we always try to get closer to people who also had the will to to go out and do activities and fulfill their responsibilities. So for example, here we have the missionary of Maracaju, where we together did the witnessing activity there in Ceará. Here we have Mrs. Elena from Rio de Janeiro, but now is in Uruguay. She she came from Uruguay and then helped her, and then she showed a great disposition and great energy to fulfill their horizontal blessings here in Rio de Janeiro. And also there in there in the last pictures, we have the blessings that we had there in Mato Grosso do Sul while we were there. And here we have the working team, the special task force team with missionary Fujiko from Terenos, Pastor Isabel from my brother-in-law, that are missionaries of Rochedo. Before before we left, we all of us together prayed together, and then left to to do blessing, to do holy wine ceremony activities there in Cidrolândia. Here we have Mrs. Leia. Here is in Rio de Janeiro. But despite being difficult there in the neighborhood of Realengo, despite the hardships, we were able to give blessing to at least one couple. So so here is the effort of even my my brother and sister-in-law to give holy wine ceremonies as well. And in the last picture, we have the picture of the missionary for Niterói doing their activities that we helped. So we really need to hold together to positive people, not people thinking negatively. And from the moment that we do that, we can see that once we began doing our activities, the blessings came. And then finally, the fifth point is to help other brothers and sisters to break their barriers and move together to fulfill their horizontal blessings. So we also have been helping our brothers and sisters for helping them to give their horizontal blessings. Here in Realengo, Niterói, once again, um, our our team, our family there in Sidrolândia, helping each other, helping sister that is missionary. And lately, we we have been doing there in Duque de Caxias, Rio de Janeiro, and then together we were able to help them in achieving this 430. So these have been a really wonderful activity. It is not a matter of the point is just to give the starting point, and then the rest God will take care. So this is basically it. So here are so their own goals. That is to support blessed families to register as Chombo families, also to start the holy wine ceremony blessings in public squares. So we are going out to public squares, surely with security with biosecurity measures, avoiding very close places, and going to these public places when we call the couples and we explain it very clearly for the couple, and then they accept. Also, the third point is during the weekends we go to places where families gather together to to spend some quality time to give the blessing as well. And then through and then through this we were able to support the family of our brother Marcos to give 85 blessings. And then go going to these parks and also visit touristic places where families gather. Then they do holy wine blessing activities. So and the other families there here in our region, for example, family of Mr. Renato, of Mr. Marcos, they're missionaries, went there to Quinta da Boa Vista, that is a touristic place. They together met many people, many couples that were ready to receive God's grace. And finally, all the activities we will fulfill together in order for the four families that they're working as a team to be registered as Chombo in October 10th. So there are four families that we are directly supporting in order for them to to be registered as Chombo. So here is a short report of the 100 days activities where we got them got a list of the couples that received the HTM blessing, and we are calling them asking if they accept to receive education. And for those who say yes, we add them on 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 the WhatsApp, and then consistently send them like DP lecture videos, invite them to videos, short messages, and also practicing oikos. No, none of them until now answer to the videos. So now the strategy will be to offer a Zoom call and then directly give lectures to them. They have a list of 95 people that are clients in the restaurant that they used to work, and they're always sending to them the events of the rallies of hope, and also UPF Women's Federation events, trying to keep and and a good dialogue and not forcing them in order for them not to give up. So two new members concluded the 7 days workshop, and these are the two members that they receive the 7 day workshop, and they are working together for them to receive the blessing. So as I said, we are working through WhatsApp, and currently they have 12 spiritual children, being two of them missionaries and two pastors, and three Chombo families within his family. So here are the missionaries there in Mato Grosso do Sul, and we are working together to make our son to become a Chombo family. And here is my brother-in-law that also became Chombo from Manaus. Him here we have Mrs. Nilma that is also missionary there in Rochedo, Mato Grosso do Sul, and we are together working together for us to achieve victory. This is a picture of our tribe. Fortunately, all of them know the divine principle and receive education. Some of them are in the process. Some of them understand and accept. Some of them are, are already blessed couples with second gen children. And we are actively moving forward to fulfill the providence. And in 2019, we assumed the mission as state pastor for Rio de Janeiro. And in 2020, we became Chombo family. So I thank you very much for, for this opportunity of sharing. Thank you very much. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Senhor Wilson? Senhor Wilson? So thank you very much, Pastor Marcus and Pastor Nivea for the report. We had we had a sudden change in our schedule, and now we will have the Q&A sessions, and the other reports will be presented in the following classes of the HTM School. So now we'll we will have our Q&A session. So if anyone have a question, you can raise your hand or write it down, and then we will turn on your microphone.
Senhor Ruben,
So,
pode
Mr.
fazer a
Ruben,
pergunta?
can you share your question? Can you hear me?
Sim,
Hello?
alô, estamos escutando.
Yes, we hear you. Hello?
Olá, pode, pode fazer a pergunta.
You can say your question.
Olá,
Hello? Hello? Seems they're trying to figure out there. Okay, one question. Before all of these things, before the blessings, my wife, my wife is from Brazil. She, she was she was missionary in Manaus, and then she went to houses, and and now they are doing in public squares and also tourism. Now they are doing works at the houses and got known very widely by the societies, and they had many spiritual children through this method. So I, I would like to ask if there if someone also discovered another method different from that of going to public places in order to keep a more a more familiar environment and also a more familiar method during these activities or for these HTM activities, right? So far, that was his question.
No, Nelson, you can answer first.
Okay, so if later Pastor Marquez and Pastor Nivea would like to make a comment. So another way that we do these blessing activities here in Brazil, at least, and also other countries as well that we receive the report is through events. But due to the coronavirus situation, it becomes kind of difficult to realize these events or or going somewhere where the social isolation im- is not that hard, then we can do small events. But these are some methods that people have been carrying with success is through events. So beyond going to the public squares, beyond going house to house, we have been also holding events, especially without the pandemics, with a great number of people, sometimes blessing 100 couples at, at one time. This can be another suggestion. But currently, we need to take in consideration the pandemic situation. So, Pastor Marcus, you want to make a comment? Another method that we thought here would be to really to go house to house, but without entering the house, and then talking to the family and then giving the blessing to them. We made this there in Mato Grosso do Sul state. So here in Rio de Janeiro we are going to public places and also places with a great circulation of people that we created a stand in these public places, and then people go to that stand to that table, and then we do the blessing prayer, and then give the holy wine as well. Always using masks and also using alcohol as well for the hygiene. And this is another method that we have been using so far because we couldn't find another methods so far. Because if you are uh, um out in the public, then there are less risk to lesser risk of infection, and is lesser dangerous. So we are doing this way as an alternative. So thank you very much. Someone else would like to make a question? So there was seemed like them there was a person that raised a hand, but we don't know if the person gave up on the question. But you can do it. You can raise your hand again if you wish to make the question. We're trying to find through the cameras if someone raised their hands physically. Okay, seems like we don't have any more questions. If you have, you can raise your hand right now. Otherwise, we'll go to the next step of our schedule. Let me do one last check in the cameras. Okay, so we don't have more questions. And also in the chat, we don't have any question. So we will give continuity to, to our next stage of our schedule. Let's receive the words of Reverend David Dongo Kim. Let's receive him with a great round of applause.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for your hard work in your area, even in the Corona pandemic. Sorry, because there will be the rehearsal meeting for today's Chamber Great Works soon. So that's why I have to move to the stadium. That's why I'm so sorry, but I, you know, should move out. That's why we can listen and then make question and answer session or next week with the rest of rest of reports. At this moment, as the Heavenly Tribal Messiah, we need to have a clear kind of a plan, a clear goal with a plan. And I know that everybody, throughout our HTM schools so far, today is how many times we have HTM school. Today is 17, 18, 19, 20th. Today is 20th class, right? 20 times. So we have learned a lot, and I'm sure everybody has a clear vision and strategy for the Chamber registration. But at this moment, I would like to remind you, we need to establish priorities at this time, and we need to make a detailed kind of timeline plan, right? Timeline plan up until the October 10th. Some other gave us, grades that the October 10th will be the registration ceremony. So my sincere hope is that everybody in this class gonna achieve the vertical and the horizontal 430 tribal blessings, and then really become part of that second resurrection. So in order to do that, I know everywhere and everything's a obstacle, not easy. But as long as we have a clear goal, we need to have a very clear attitude. Let us listen from the families and the members who had been successful. What is how they could make a successful result? How could they make a certain foundation? We can find out the common attitude of those successful people, not only in our movement, but also look at the outside the world. So we have to have a very clear attitude toward the ongoing, unchangeable vision and goal and target. So in this sense, what's supposed to be our prioritized goal at this moment? I can say it's on May 23rd. May 23rd, we will have a Chambo workshop. And in the Chambo workshop, there will be the liberation and the blessing ceremony for the ancestors. So centering on timeline for us to go to the October 10th. May 23, Chombo workshop will be the last workshop for us to have a chance to finish liberation of 430 ancestors. We know that, right? After finishing liberation ceremony, and then those who liberated in the spiritual world by building the condition with us, blessed family, they will join the 100 days workshop in the spiritual world. And then after this 100 days workshop, finish it, and then they can participate in blessing and they can become absolute good spirit. That's why. So May 23rd is the last time, the last opportunity. So we can become the Chombo family on this year, October 10th. And then after 100 days and before the registration, the last day of to fulfilling the blessing of 430 ancestors would be the September 3rd. So you need to keep these priorities no matter what. Okay, so now I would like to all of you put the priority from now on for 23 days until May 23rd, right? What is the priority? What is the prioritized goal? Okay, let's finish it. Liberation ceremony of 430 ancestors. And then next thing, as I already said, next thing, most important point is what kind of attitude you have. We have, we used to have this kind of, attitude toward the spiritual world. Wow, that's impossible. Wow, how can I do? Especially, liberation and blessing ceremony. More than 90% of our membership has mindset or thinking that, centering on my situation on this earth, it's impossible. Or, it takes a long time to prepare making money. You think liberation, blessing ancestors depends on money, right? But that's the external condition. External condition. Money is not the major point. Major point is do you have absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience toward God, Heavenly Parents, and toward True Mother. That's a key point. So that's why let us clarify. Let us make sure what is my priorities to fulfill liberation and blessing ceremony by getting money. You are putting the importance and the priority to get money. No. To finish the liberation and blessing ceremony for ancestors is to show the result of your faith, your love, and your obedience to our true parents. That's why as long as you align with this kind of absolute how to make money is not the priority anymore. So I really strongly push all of you, change your priority in your mindset. Once you are able to change your priority to focusing on absolute faith, love, and then obedience, you can make your mindset differently or easily. You can change your thought. And finally, you have to think positively and then easily. Positive. This positivity is a real way for spiritual world to contact me and to come to me. So you may say, well, Kim, I know, I understand what you're saying, but we have only less than 1 month. So what? In the God's world, time doesn't matter, right? The Bible said, one day in the Bible, one day in the God's providence, one day is how long? 1,000 years. That means in God's providence and God's time and the spiritual world time, we have more than 20,000 years. Is that enough to create donations or not enough? If you have this kind of thought, and then if you think today is like 1,000 years, absolutely no problem. No problem. You know what is a miracle? Scientists say miracle. Miracle is something happen, some happenings occur in a shortening time, right? For example, water is dropping on the rock, dropping, 10,000 years, 100,000 years, million years, 10 million years, 100 million years, drop. And then what happened? This rock, eventually, rock will be, this, water consistent drop with 100 million years of dropping can make a hole. And even this water can break, a rock down. But what is a miracle? This make a hole in on the rock with the water. If water can break the rock down right now, what happened? This rocking down this breaking down the rock happened in 1 minute. Then 100 million years. In the spiritual world, as we know, the four-dimensional world is go beyond of three-dimensional world, which is time and space. So, and then what can make this four-dimensional world gonna work in the three-dimensional world, our world, without concerning times, without concerning time? How can we make the miracles which can go beyond of time limitation, which can go beyond of limitation of three-dimensional world? That's absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. So if you think, oh my God, I have only 21 days. I cannot do. It will happen that you cannot make it. You understand? But if you have this kind of mindset, wow, this is your mother, this is your parent, this is the heavenly parents' desire and the blessing to me. No matter what, I must fulfill this one. And I have to save my ancestors. And then, if you truly become one with this goal, with the heavenly parents, your parents, and with your ancestors, you will see what happened. Gonna be making time shorten, which means miracles. Those who already fulfilled today, also, we got a testimony report. What happened? They got unexpected money. Unexpected money. How money came? Right? Don't think whether I can finish the liberation and blessing ceremony for my 430 ancestors depends on how to get the money. No. As long as you think that way, still you have to go 1,000 years. But if you have to know how to make 1,000,000 years to 10 days, I'm sure we have been trained. True parents have been training us. Everybody can do it. But what can make us to fulfill this last mission to become second restoration of Chamber family? Our mindset, our attitude. Okay? Priority and think positive and easily. Once you think that's impossible, that means you by yourself block the way of spiritual world work. You just closed and block the door to the spiritual world to operate. What is the result? What is the result of God's spiritual world operation? That's the miracles Jesus has shown to us. And throughout the Christian history, we are able to see so many miracles. Why not us? Okay? Today, within 1 month, before May 23rd, I really hope that all the families in Brazil and heavenly South America can testify how spiritual world and physical world become one and then create miracles. As long as you want to keep your own honor, your own wealth, your own family, miracle doesn't occur. Okay, so I really would like to remind your attitude and the priorities today. And then as long as you really seriously keep this point, I am sure all of us will pass the way of the process to become Chambo families. Okay, I'm sorry I have to go. Let us keep this session on next week. Join me prayer. Lord, 존귀하신 하늘 부모님, 사랑하옵는 천진 참 부모님, 오늘은 저희 신남미의 헤븐리 트라이벌 메사이아 클래스를 한지 20번째 날이옵니다. 그동안 20주 동안 저희들은 많은 것을 배웠지만은 가장 중요한 것은 어떻게 하늘 부모님을 모시고 천지인 참 부모님과 함께 살아가느냐, 어떻게 하면 그 길로 갈 수 있느냐 하는 것을 배우는 것이 바로 이 HTM 스쿨의 가장 중요하고도 진정한 목적임을 언제나 느끼고 있사옵니다. 그 길에 하나 되어지고 그 길을 실천하게 될 때 저희들은 이 신동경 메시아의 사명을 다할 뿐만 아니라 하늘이 허락해 주신 천보 가정이 되어서 비로소 천일국의 주인으로서 살아갈 수 있는 그런 축복 가정이 되어지는 것을 알고 있습니다. 그런 면에서 오늘 이 신남미에서 참석한 모든 신종종 메시아 헤븐리 트라이블 메사야들이 정말 책임을 다해서 천보 가정으로서 거듭날 수 있도록 이 시간 저희들을 함께 해주시고 저희들의 마음을 강건하게 인도해 주시고 저희들의 그 심정과 저희들의 기대가 언제나 참 부모님을 중심 잡고 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종을 온전하게 실천할 수 있는, 실현할 수 있는 그 결과를 하늘 부모님, 천진 참 부모님께 돌려드릴 수 있는 신남미의 모든 축복 가정들이 되어질 수 있도록 역사해 주시기를 간절히 바라옵고 원합니다. 그런 기대와 소망과 목표를 가지고 다시금 출발하여서 이제 5월 23일 진행되는 천보 수련회에 저희 모든 430대의 조상들을 해원을 마칠 수 있는 그런 길로 새로운 출발을 할 수 있는 모습이요. 5월달 한 달을 온전히 그 기대를 쌓아서 영계의 문이 열리고 정말 하늘 중심으로 한 기적의 때를 세상에게 보여줄 수 있는 저희들이 되어질 수 있도록 다시 한번 저희를 격려하여 주시고 또 이끌어 주시고 함께해 주시옵소서. 나가는 그 길 앞에 언제나 하늘의 사랑과 축복만이 함께해 주시기를 간절히 바라고 원하오면서 모든 말씀을 축복 중심 가정 김동우 우정남 가정의 이름으로 보고하며 축원하여 싸움나이다. 아주.
Aju. So now let's offer our bow to finalize today's class. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Reverend Kim, for your words. And please have a good night.
Boa noite. Obrigado.
Boa noite.